Right, welcome back everybody. Something a little bit different today. We're in a different location, and what we're doing is we're working on this Honda HR-V. This is a 2016, and what we're doing is a little bit of a basic surface on it, just changing the air filter, the oil, and the interior pollen cabin filter. There's also got an issue with this car. It keeps going into limp mode, and I found out the problem with that, and we're going to address that in this little video. So let's take a look and see what that problem was. Right, so this car has been to a couple of garages. It's been plugged into that diagnostics, and it's been coming up as a mass flow sensor issue along the lines there. So all they done was reset the codes. The lady took the car back. She literally got not even a mile down the road and the light come back on, and she was in the same situation. So she's a friend of the family. She seen the bit of investigation we had with the full Mondeo with the PAT system and the ECU. So I've come round, I brought the top down, I've done a bit of diagnostic check as well. It was saying about airflow and all that. So I had a look, I checked the air filter, that is fully clogged up black. I've cleaned it out a little bit. That was just to get her going, but that wasn't the problem. The problem is look, if you look down there, you can see great crack in the pipe there, and there's actually a great crack in it there, so it weren't very noticeable. So obviously the garages that had this car in didn't do anything, because I say the air filter was chock-a-block thick with crap, and I will show you that in a minute. I say I have cleaned it out a bit, but this is what we've bought. So we got in the van here, we've got a new pipe. That pipe alone was £89 I think for that pipe. It's crazy. I say we've got a new air filter there, we've got the cabin filter, we've got the oil filter in the oil. It actually takes 5.5 litres of this, so I've got another little canister so we can top that right up to where we need to be. So before we start, I think we'll just take this pipe back off and we'll do the air filter at the same time, and then we'll go ahead and do the oil filter and the cabin filter. So what you've got is two 8mm. And you have to bear with me, I'm outside at the minute as you can see, and there's a bit of wind, so you might get a bit of interference on the mic there. Disconnect that. Looks like someone's been in here before. There's a bit of tape around that. So I say we'll get this pipe out of the way, then we'll lift the airbox off as well, because it'll just be a bit easier with this pipe out of the way to take the airbox lid off. And there we go. And look at that split. And as you can see, that split, and then it goes right the way round. And the one at the front is about halfway round. So that has seen its day, that pipe. It's probably the original since new. So I'll just put that there for a minute. And it's quite handy. These are only on 4 little clips to take this off. So it's a nice and simple job that. Like I say, this was really dirty. So you can see how black that is there, but all along down this half of the filter was all thick with like thick grease. It was, I don't know if you can't really see in there, but it's full of crap. So again, we've got another air filter part here, so we can drop that back in, stick that back on there. I won't clip them in yet, in case it might be easier to put that back on while it's not clipped in. So that's the clips there. So we'll just stick the front one on first. In fact, we'll just take that sideways a minute. So right, that's that side on. So we'll just snip that up. Now we'll get, there we go. There we go. So we'll just nip that up again. so that's on there now. Happy with that, so we can go ahead and clip the airbox back together. And that's the air filter changed on that. Pretty simple on this. No screws or nothing to mess about with. And that's a lot heavier than that filter there, so it's full of crap definite. So we can get rid of them too. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get the car jacked up and put it on axle stands. You don't need to see that. And once we've got it up in the air, we'll have a look at the drain plug. And I think the oil filter is quite easy to get to as well next to it. I've never worked on one of these before, so it's all new to me. But what I've done a bit of research and it looks pretty straightforward. So let me just get the car up in the air and I'll be back with you. Right then, we're under the car now, people. I've took the splash pan off underneath. That's just a load of Phillips screws. But as you can see, we've got the sump drain plug there, and right there is the oil filter, right next to each other. That couldn't be in a better place. That it would have been nice if it was facing upwards, so we didn't get much spillage, but that won't be too bad. And it's loose already, hand tight. Look at that. Don't need no tools either. That's fantastic. So I'm just going to get my socket now. That looks like maybe it could be a 17, and we'll get the bowl ready to drop both of these. It's looking like quite a nice service on these Hondas. So let me just get the pan and we'll get this trained out. Right, so I've got my 17mm. There we go. Just nip that. And I've got myself my bucket here. I say it holds 5.5 litres. I'm not sure how big this is. This might be a 5 litre jug, so I've got another one ready on standby. So here we go. Right, it's here. Go. And that is really black, that. So I'm just going to let that drain quickly while I get some tissue. That is well black. Well due a service, that. The end of the plug's nice and clean, no metal filings on, I think, so that's a good sign. Right, so we'll go ahead and crack this filter now. And this is where it normally gets messy. There we go. Just let that drain for a minute. And I say this hasn't been done in over a year. I think the lady was led to believe it was serviced a year ago by a garage, but what I've seen from the air filter and the oil, it's a bit hard to believe, to be fair. I say the air filter definitely wasn't done last year. And the car's not high mileage, it's done about 70k, I think, this one, nearly. There we go. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a bit of that oil just to rub around this mating seal here, just so it grips up and nice and easy. Sometimes they do come pre-lubricated, them rubber seals, where they have a plastic cover on top, but this one hasn't. Give that a wipe up now. I'll get that new one. Well done. As I say, as you saw how this come off, they just need to be hand tight, these. You don't need any tools to do these up. And that's why I've just put a bit of oil on that rubber seal, just so it don't grip up, and it gives it a nice bit of lubrication, so you can just turn it that little bit more. And that'll be that fully done now. So we can put the car back on the ground on solid level, and we'll get that oil filled back up. So I'm just going to put this under tray back on, and I'll see you back at the top when we come to fill the oil. Right, so I've took the top engine plastic cover off, and I've not got my funnel with me, so I've got to wing it, and hopefully I don't make too much of a mess here. So I'm just going to get a bit more tissue and just cover up around there. And when you do this sort of job, always have the bottle on its side. There we go, straight away. Because you don't get the glug in then when it's on its side. So as I said, the chap did say it takes 5.5 litres this. So I won't put it all in yet. I'll put near enough. I'll put about 4.5 litres in, because you don't know if all the oil did come out. I say it did stop dripping and all that, but you never know what does get held up in there. So I don't want to be overfilling it. So it's always worth just stopping before you know you get into that point. I'll just have a break there. And we're still under there. Still got plenty to go in. Like I say, I just want to have a little check. So I'll clean the stick off first. See, you've got 2 marks there. So we'll stick that in. And we're already halfway up the stick, look. And I've only put in, what's that? 1, 2, 3. We're only about 4 litres in, and we're halfway up the stick already. So obviously once I do start it, I will expect it to drop a bit as well. So we'll just put a bit more in to get it up to the mark. And then we'll come back and check it after we've had it running for a minute. I'm glad I put that tissue there now, because I did get a bit of spillage there. Let's give that a minute. We'll clean that again. And that's bang on point, so we'll stop there for the minute. Get that dirty tissue out. Clean around that lid. We'll get that cap back on there. We'll just give it a start up. Right, so we're in the vehicle now. So what we're looking for is that engine light to go out. Not the engine light, the oil light, sorry. Just down there. We're looking for that to go out once the car is started. So it's just give us a warning that the bonnet's still open, so that's nothing to worry about there. So I want to see that oil light go out. There we go, that's just gone out now. So we'll give it a minute just to let the oil get round to where it needs to be. So it's only done 69,000, look, so 70,000 it's on basically. So there's no warning lights on the dash. I say there was one on there before for the engine management, but that was for that hose. But I'm not actually sure. I think there might be an EP light on here, which is the electronic parking brake, I believe. But we won't know that until it's been out on the road. But that won't be for this video if it does come back on. But sometimes that EP light has been known to come on when you do get other lights come on the dash apparently. So it might be something or nothing. Everything works well with the brake. It comes on and releases it as it should. Right, so that sounds lovely. So we'll go out there and check that again. Right, so I'm expecting this might have dropped a bit now. Yep, it's dropped to just above the minimum, so it still needs a bit more in there. That's why you should never take the first reading before you actually start the vehicle. Always run it for a second just to get you that true reading. So, because obviously it needed to fill the filter up again and all that, you see. Normally I do pre-fill the filters, but when they're on an angle or on the side, there's no point, because what you put in just normally comes back out. So there we go, that's all the 5 litres in there. So We'll have to see if we need that other bit, but to be honest, I think that will probably do us. Right, so we can take that away. And now we'll just do that again. Always clean it first. Yep, and that's back up on the top point now. So I'm happy with that. We can put this cover back on. Just give that a clean around in there before we put that back down there. Just give that a quick wipe over. I say it's a bit windy, I can feel the wind picking up there, so you might be getting a bit of interference there. And it's just little things like this, I just like to do that. You don't need to do it, but it just makes that job a bit nicer, doesn't it? So that is everything under the engine bay done now. So now that's all buttoned up, we can shut everything down there, just put that back in there. It might just want a bit of washer fluid in it, so we'll do that after. I'll have to get some from the house or so, because I haven't got nothing with me. So everything's done as far as we're going for a service under it. Oil, air filter, oil filter, new pipe. So we're going to head inside now and try and do this cabin filter. Again, I've never done it on one of these. Looks pretty straightforward, so let's get in there and tackle it. Right, so as I'm aware, I believe someone's actually been in this glove box, because there is a little arm down there that stops the glove box from falling right down. You squeeze these two sides in and then you can just pull this out. Oh, hold on, everything's falling out. Give me a second. It's a bit dark in there, but that cassette there, I believe, is the cabin filter housing. Let me just try and get you there. So that goes there. Oh, there we go, it just pops out like that, sorry. So as you can see, again, this is filthy, this hasn't been serviced in a year. That's well over a year's worth of crap in there. And she's probably had a mouse in there, to be fair. But that is thick. Thick with dust, look. That is no good at all, that has not been done. Yeah, I should say there's been a mouse in there. There's a lot of evidence, little crushed nuts, and there's loads of broken foam there, like it's been eating some of the interior. So, bear with me. And these filters do have airflow, as you can see there, look. Tells you which way the airflow goes, so the arrows are pointing upwards, so that's the way you want to point it. So you can put it in that way, so the airflow's the right way round. Just like that. It tells you on there the up arrow, so you can't really get that wrong. So that's all clipped shut now. There we go. And that's probably one of the simplest pollen filters I've done. So this vehicle has been pretty doddle to do a basic service on, really. So in the way there's that clip there, look, that is meant to be connected. You can't really see it, it's a bit dark in here. But there's a clip there that just hooks onto there. And you can tell someone's been in there, because that was already disconnected. They never put them rods back on, so find that on all the vehicles, not just this. I say I've never done one of these before, but on the Mondeos they have the same cylinder thing where they never put that on as well. So let me just put this all back together, and then we'll head outside, and that's pretty much the service wrapped up. Right then, so that's going to conclude this little bit of a service now. So that was a recap. There's the oil filter, the oil, the air filter, new air intake pipe, and the new cabin filter. Pretty much of a doddle, actually. Nice and easy parts to get to. So yeah, I'd happily work on one of these again. But we're going to leave it here. We'll just get it taken out for a little test drive. Make sure we're not getting no lights back on the dash regarding that EP light. And if we do, we'll have to come and revisit that another day. So until next time, we'll see you about.